so excited to people people from the IESE Business School. This was such a dream come true, honestly. Yeah, and I don't want to sound too excited yet. Let me calm down and wait until, as the program unfolds. We're so excited to have you. We're so excited to have you at this point in time. I just wanted to give a bit of understanding about One Foundation, for people who are probably not joined our program before, to let you know who we are, what we do, and also to give you a bit of an idea of what this program is going to be about today. One Foundation is a nonprofit that is right now really working in Nigeria. Our goal is really to support entrepreneurs. Our reason was simple. We realized that small businesses are they are actually the socioeconomic drivers of this century, literally. And even more in Nigeria, in a place like Nigeria, where over 79% of jobs are found within the MSME sector. Our goal is really to combat the problem of unemployment, but we're doing that by empowering entrepreneurs to be able to create sustainable businesses that can serve as opportunities of employment. And honestly, when we started out, we wanted to empower entrepreneurs so that they can start out businesses. But with time, we also began to see that empowering the entrepreneur only, it might not be the only way to go about this. We realized that as good as it was for the entrepreneur to, the founder of a business, for example, to have the business knowledge and all of that, they are not going to work alone. They are not going to do all of these things alone. They are going to have to work with other people. And we realized that the health of the businesses, the sustainability of those businesses, not only rest on the founder alone, but also on the team, which was the reason why this year we have also had programs that are focused on not just entrepreneurs, but people who are trying to build careers, because of course, they are the ones that are going to be working with the business owners in that sense. And we've done a number of programs, especially focused on young people who want to also, build their ability, their entrepreneurial acumen, even as career professionals. And this is why this program is really exciting for us. This program is both tailored towards entrepreneurs and professionals who really want to, position themselves for global opportunities, build their skills so that they are able to really impact their community. And so without further ado, I am so excited to welcome you to this program. And I'm sure that we're going to be having a great time. We're not going to be wasting any time at all. We're going to be bringing in our guests. And I'm going to be allowing the Vice President of One Foundation in the aspect of administration to go ahead and do that. I favor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I'm also very excited because I've worked with One Foundation for a very long time, and I identify with the vision, and I'm also excited about IESE Business School. I'm currently at IESE, and I think it's like a very great opportunity. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to be here. I'm also excited about our guests today. Louisa, Renata, Jennifer, I think would be having an amazing conversation. And just to start out, I will be inviting our first panel, and to give a clear understanding, we're going to have each of our panelists speak to us for some minutes before we open the panel fully. And during the course of every session, please, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're going to pick them up and we'll respond to every one of them. And so, yeah, so we'll be bringing in the first panelist, Louisa. She's the Associate Director of Admissions at IESE Business School. And Louisa will be telling us about herself, her career journey, about IESE and opportunities for Africans at IESE. Louisa, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Favor.
Yeah,
thank you, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. It's also kind of a dream coming true. One day, me and Faber were talking about having an event like this. So I'm very happy to be here. I won't talk a lot. I think we have people that are much more prepared than me to be here at the stage today. I just want to share a little bit of my story, and I will also share a little bit. I will share my screen with the opportunity for you to connect with IESE. So about me, I am Brazilian. I am an MBA graduate, so I graduated now in 2022 from IESE. I had the chance to go to IESE through a scholarship. Actually, it was not a full tuition scholarship, but I had the help of a foundation that helped leaders from emerging countries to go to get higher education. So I am also someone that was working with tech before, which helped me to kind of position for better opportunities. And this has helped me to find IESE, to understand more about the school. Also has helped me to prepare myself to enter the admissions process. I am happy to answer any questions you have in the future. I am available on LinkedIn under Luis Amaral as well if you want to connect. I would like to now share my screen with a little bit of IESE, if that's possible. Let me see if you're gonna see me. Please let me know, Faber.
I think you can. You started screen sharing.
Is everyone seeing our mission?
Yes, I can see you from.
Oh, nice. Okay. I decided to share with the picture of our president of the African Business Club, that it's proudly called ABC. And the mission of IESE is something that speaks to me a lot and was the reason why I chose the school. That IESE Business School is committed to the development of leaders who aspire to have a positive, deep, and lasting impact on people, firms, and society through professionalism, integrity, and spirit of service. I think Faber maybe can share with me if she also finds that IESE lives this mission. I truly believe we do.
Yeah.
I think we form leaders that want to have an impact, in the sense that we are trying not to form people that are going to make more money, that are going to go for an amazing job, but people that actually care about others, that are nice, that have something to give back to the world, and feel that you've been, I feel like that. I feel that I've been chosen to have a scholarship, for example. I've been chosen to have had the chance to have the opportunity to go to IESE, and now I try to give back on that by doing events like this, or by helping others to find an opportunity to also enlarge their impact in the future. I wanted to just say that there are many ways that someone can join IESE. I am the responsible for the MEM, which is the Master in Management for people that are young leaders or they're just out of university. But we do have the MBA program, that is the program that I went, that is for people that are over 25, 26 years of age. Then we have the executive MBA, that is for people that it's like under 35, 40 years of age. Then we have we go until you're very old. But I wanted just to share a little bit of how is the profile of the MBA. We are trying to increase the African participation to 10% in 2 years. And for that, we have a lot of scholarships for this region. So that's the reason why I'm sharing this here. We have 350 students in 5 sections, 85% of international, 29 is the average age, 30% women. We need a GMAT from this range and work experience. Here's a little bit of how the nationalities are divided. I wanted to show this because this is the MBA class profile. And if you are not within this average age, within this range, and if you're younger than this, so if you're under 25, I believe you could be a good fit for the MIM, which is the program that I'm leading. And I'm happy to give you feedback on your profile, but also I know that the MBA is also happy to do that. So I prepared, first I prepared some alumni from the MBA, which are people that you guys can connect as well if you want, and also to understand a little bit of where they are and where do they go. But I prepared here 2 QR codes if you want to scan them. If you're under 25 years or over 25 years of age, to get a feedback on your profile. The idea is mainly you're going to share with us a little bit of who you are, and we are going to either schedule an interview with you that would be kind of an info interview, or we are going to say if you are suitable for the program or not within the things that we know from you. It's just a way that I believe it's going to be good for us to connect. But as I said before, I'm also happy to share anything later through LinkedIn connections or either my email as well. I think that was it that I had to talk to you. I don't want to be talking long here. Very happy to be here again, and I give the stage to Favor back.
Thank you, Luisa. Thank you very much. I think it was really important that we started out that way, because this event is in partnership with IESE Business School. So if you are interested in any way, reach out to Luisa. You can reach out to myself on LinkedIn. Be glad to help. Now we're moving to like a more general part of the event, talking about positioning for global opportunities. Of course, this is one in front of you, and as a MIM student at IESE, I can tell you that it's absolutely worth it. And the goal, the mission that Luisa was asking me if IESE really live out, I think they do. The emphasis, of course, it's a business school, so you have to learn about money, finance, operations. But I think that IESE has this way of emphasizing value that is really beautiful, because normally the business world is not known to be, we have a lot of mission, vision, but in the sense of it, in the real market, it's not known to be driven by values. But I think IESE is a game changer in that sense. So this is me telling you, if you're interested, you should go for it. And moving forward to a more general part of positioning for global opportunities, I'm going to be inviting the rest of our panelists. And the first person that we're going to be having is Jennifer. And let me read her profile. And don't forget that we said if you have any question during the course of the event, feel free to drop in the chat. Yeah. Yes. So I'll be reading Jenny's profile that is tailored towards this event. So Jennifer is a campaigner for creative and cultural industries in Africa. Her journey has traversed through Africa's cultural economy as a digital storyteller, writer, ex-rapper, and experimental fashion designer. She has years of experience across fintech and e-commerce. Currently, Jennifer is building a digital commerce marketplace to bring Africa's culture to the world. She serves as the CEO and co-founder of Mahu Africa, a marketplace aggregator and digital supply chain platform for African heritage art, artisan, and creative SMEs. Jennifer loves to visit culture markets across Africa and takes care of cute animals. Please welcome Jennifer. Hi, Jenny. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can perfectly.
Okay.
Let me just turn on my camera just to say hi.
Yeah,
hi
good
everyone. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
so my name is again. Yeah, please go ahead, Leva.
No, I was saying that you just tell us about yourself, your motivation, your journey, your entrepreneurial journey before.
So my name is Nyambogo Jennifer. I'm currently the CEO and founder of Mahu Africa. So Mahu works as a marketplace platform. When you think of IESE or Amazon, it's the same thing. But what we do is we list African heritage art. So African heritage art, artisans, and creative SMEs. I'm currently in Zambia. I'm originally from Kenya, but I move around the continent a lot to source for creative products. sure everyone here is somewhere from Africa. You have those culture markets where artisans sell, if it's fabric or it's earrings or carvings and all those things. But the thing is, artisans have been doing this for a millennia. They've been creating arts, but they don't get the value for what they produce. So a few years ago, when COVID hit, and I was very shocked the world can actually end. So I quit my job in fintech. I worked in financial service for the longest time at a company called Cellulant. So I quit my job and started a business called Mau Africa. So what we do is we act like an IESE or an Amazon just to connect African crafts to the rest of the world and to create more value and to ensure that industry does not die down or die down with our fathers, our sons, or this and that. So I've always known I've been in the creative and culture industry. I have been a rapper before. So if you're in Kenya, I just look for, my name was Quida Queen. I have one video on YouTube. So I rapped before, but for the longest time, I wrote scripts for the Kenya National Theatre. I love writing a lot. So my biggest influences, anyone from Nigeria, Chimamanda. Chimamanda has always been one of my biggest influences. This guy who wrote,
Hi, Jenny. I think we lost you. Can you still hear us? Or is it just for my end?
No, it is. I lost
Okay.
her too. I think she's probably coming back soon.
Okay. Louisa, someone asked for your email address.
Yes, I'm writing it down right now.
Okay.
So everyone can have it.
yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
Currently, yeah, I'm currently in Zambia and I'm working around the internet. But yeah,
Okay.
it works. But yeah. So I've had like a lot of creative influences from the continent. But my thing has been, how do we make African culture more accessible to the rest of the world? When people look at Africa, they think of a story of poverty, of this, of that. But what Mau is trying to do is tell a story of innovation. Africans are very creative. Africans are very smart. So, and the best way as Mau to portray that is through the crafts that come from the continent. So I'm always, if you find me right now, I'm wearing, this is called kente fabric. It's very common in East Africa and West Africa. So I'm always wearing something that's African just to promote that and show how beautiful our culture is. So that's basically me in a nutshell, an entrepreneur who is very creative driven. At some point, a bit biased when it comes to the African creative industry, but again, there's a lot we can offer to the rest of the world, and especially because there's a lot of export value. So our biggest markets are in the US, in the UK. So it's very easy as an African to establish a business from Africa and then export to the rest of the world. So we are currently in 5 markets. In our primary market is Kenya, but we are also in Uganda, Tanzania, DRC, Congo, Cote d'Ivoire. And yeah, and I've mentioned Uganda and Tanzania. So we're in 5 markets in the continent. I'm currently in Zambia to onboard Zambian artisans. And I also did Mozambique like a week before. But the goal for Mau is to unite Africans or African creative products on one platform and then use that platform to export to the rest of the world and make art more accessible and tell a different story about Africa. Africa is very beautiful, very creative, very, yeah. So we need to tell that story where we can do these amazing things. And the most amazing part, I know everyone is about sustainability and stuff. All the products on our platform or the artisans we work with in African countries all use sustainable products. So recyclable products or products that have been upcycled. So it's always good for the environment. So how do you make use of your waste to make something that's very creative and beautiful and then export it to the rest of the world? So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Jenny. Before we go back to the panel, I thought I could ask you this question since it just fits to the description. So overall, what would you say is your motivation as an entrepreneur? If you have to put it like in one word, what's your motivation? What drives you to do this amazing work that you do?
So the two words I'm playing around between abundance and inspiration. So inspiration will be, I'm very inspired by our rich cultural heritage. Tell a story about Africa. Abundance will be, I come from a continent, I'm Kenyan and I'm African also. I come from a continent abundant of so many things. Kind people, abundant of food, abundant of gems, abundant of culture. Africa is the only continent in the whole world that has over 3,000 tribes. 3,000 tribes. It's the only continent in the world. So I come from a continent of abundance. So my inspiration is to, how do you spread that abundance to the rest of the world? How do you inspire from your rich cultural heritage the rest of the world to see things differently? So those are my two things, inspiration and abundance. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Like I said, we'll be coming back to the panel. I think we can take Renata now. Let me read her profile, then we can have her. Renata has been living and working in Africa for the past 6 years. She currently lives in Nairobi, Kenya with her family and is supporting a company in nutrition, health, and bioscience space with business development or strategic initiative. Most recently, she worked as a deputy program director for Women in Business, a 5-year program to promote women's economic empowerment in Mozambique, funded by the Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA, and implemented by TechnoServe. Before that, Renata worked in Ethiopia in an impact investing firm, Renew Capital, which is focused on investing in SMEs, and worked in acceleration programs in Growth Africa in its first cohort in Ethiopia and at Termisia, a leading social impact accelerator in Brazil. Renata is a Brazilian national that is passionate about working with impactful initiatives and thinking creatively about financing solutions to promote development. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Renata. Hello, Renata. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Hello,
okay.
Favor. Hi,
Hi,
everyone. Thank you for having me and to invite me to be part of this panel. I hope to contribute a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, so quickly we'll be doing like what Jenny did before we go into the full panel. Tell us about yourself, your motivation, what has been your career and professional journey, what has been the motivation for you, things that stand out to you, just generally about your work.
Sure. Yeah, I think I look back to where it started, like how, like what was the motivation that got me working, like supporting entrepreneurs. And as Luisa, I'm also from Brazil, and I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And my dad, my grandfather, my other grandfather, so everyone has their business. So I think it was kind of like, it was in the way we think, the way we operate. So I think this was also always there. And this, yeah, I think this is part of who I am, and also my sisters too. And I think this came from there. So yeah, and then I studied business in my bachelor's degree. And then I started actually working in the finance sector. So I work with big banks. And then after 5 years working in this industry, as Jennifer, I felt like this need of having something more impactful, more purposeful. And then that's where I started shifting my career, working towards impact and working in this supporting entrepreneurs, either directly through accelerators programs as I did, or through funding, so working in the investment side too. Yeah, so I think that's a bit of the motivation to where I am.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So I think we'll just go straight into the panel. And like I said before, if you have any questions, please leave it in the chat. A member of One Foundation will pick it up and would definitely respond to it. So quickly, Jenny, this is for you. You're a young African building businesses that are global. You just said that your business has influence in about 5 countries already. What advice would you give a young African who wants to do the same? What 3 advice would you give such person?
Sorry, just start that again because my connection has been, I'm really sorry, my connection has been the best. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, I said that you're a young African who has been building a business, Mau Africa, with reach in over 5 countries, at least for now. What 3 advice will you give a young African who wants to do the same? Was that clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my 3 things, my 3 things are very simple. The first one is master the problem. So mastering the problem means speaking who are you solving it for. For me, it's artisans. So in Africa, we have 7 million, what we've mapped out, 7 million artisans. My goal is to speak to 10% of those people. Because that's like a lot, 70,700, it's a lot of people to speak to. But no other person will speak to as many artisans on the continent as I would. So how much do you master the problem? Speak to as many. If you're solving for artisans, if you're solving for the finance sector, make sure you speak to 10 or 5% of the market you're solving for, just to understand them. Then the second thing is chase the customer. So we have this thing where every time someone makes an order from our platform, a week after, we have to call you, ask about the experience. What did you love? What did you not love? Will you buy again from us? What can we do to improve? And then if you speak to 1,000, 2,000 customers, by then you become an expert in what you're doing. But between those 2, which are very important, and the one I think is very much important and supported by those 2 is manage by numbers. So look at your numbers every single day. So every day at Mau, we look at how many people ordered from the platform, how many people reordered again from the platform, how many people abandoned cart, where did they abandon cart. So those 3 things: master the problem, chase the customer, then manage by numbers. And numbers will humble you. As an entrepreneur, you make assumptions. You're always like, oh, so when I said Mau, we were like, we can just create a website and list things on the platform, and then people come and buy. In 2 months, we didn't sell anything. And my founder, who is the tech person, I was like, your code is wrong. The website is not working. No one is buying. No one is buying from the platform. But we realized again, we had not taken time to understand the customer. Is the customer willing to go online and buy? If they're willing to go online and buy, how much do they want to pay for shipping? What kind of products do they want? They want products as storytelling. So you make a lot of assumptions as an entrepreneur, but these 3 things have humbled me. So mastering the problem, speak to who you're solving for, chasing the customer, speak to your customer every single day and get to learn them. So if we have buyers in the UK, in Brazil recently, because we got featured at Futura Express or something, Future Express in Brazil, and you need to understand the Brazil market. So call Brazilian clients, ask them questions, ask them, was it shipping was too expensive or did it take too long? What happened in that case? And another thing is manage by numbers. Look at your numbers every day. Numbers will humble you. How many people ordered? How many people didn't order? How many return orders did you get? So those are the 3 things for me that I will say have guided for me. Yeah.
Okay, just a follow-up question from your sharing. I found out that you serve markets aside your country and all that, and I know that there are inherent problem around trade across Africa. It's easier, like with European Union, there's some kind of ease that you experience, but around Africa, there are like inherent challenges around payment, transportation. So how do you navigate? So I'm an entrepreneur in Nigeria. I don't want to just sell to the Nigerian market. How do I move from selling to just the Nigerian market to probably selling to the Ghanaian market or something, UK? and all that?
So it goes back to my first point, mastering the problem. So in this case, the problem in Africa becomes, it's weird, just to tell you guys, it's more expensive for me to ship to Nigeria than it is for me to ship to the US.
Exactly.
It's sad, but that's the situation. Yeah, that's the situation that's currently happening in Africa. But we have a few bodies that are trying to change that. So there's the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that just came into effect early this year. So that allows you to
I think we lost
think we
Jenny
lost
for a
her.
bit. I think we lost Jenny for a bit.
Yes, yes. Maybe we move to Renata, then we come back.
Yeah, then we'll come back. Yeah, no problem. Okay, Renata. Hi, Renata. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I think you kind of have like a very interesting career. You work as a professional and at the same time as an entrepreneur because you help build businesses. You have worked with accelerators and all those kind of things. So if you are going to say, what are 3 major challenges that you think that businesses in Africa face from your experience as an accelerator, as a professional working and helping to build businesses?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the 3 things that come to my mind, like the challenges, I think, there's, as every business or everywhere, you have to be able to adapt to the changes in the markets. And of course, in many countries that I worked here, the markets are more volatile. They are more sensitive to changes, and it's very important that businesses be ready to face those risks and mitigate and find strategies, diversify their income, their source of revenues. So, for example, if you are selling premium products to the local market, right? You need to find a way to mitigate and find strategies to address in case there is internal economic crisis. The second one that I often see is about communicating the business. So being clear about what you do and effectively reaching your target audience. It seems very obvious, but I think a lot of business miss that one. Sometimes they have amazing business models or innovative ideas, but they fail in conveying the message, communicating and reaching. So I think this is key. And I think also, it for founders, maybe Jennifer can agree or not, but for as you're running your business, you should be ready and find time and make time to build connections and build connections to your business, not only clients, but partners, funders. So it's really important to do this. And often entrepreneurs, sometimes they don't like it personally to do these things, but it's something that it needs to be looked at and considered.
Thank you. Do we have Jenny back or not yet?
Yeah, so I'm going to keep my camera off because I'm in Zambia and the connection is not that good. So it's a bit, yeah, perfect. But just back to what Renata was saying, the connections matter a lot.
Okay.
So you need to understand who in your industry do you need to speak to, what partners you need to speak to. Like for us, it's logistics partners. So who do we speak to? DHL, FedEx, UPS, local logistics partners. You need to maintain those relationships. And just to add to your previous questions, how do you create a business that's international across the continent? I love what's going on in Africa right now, the innovation around fintech. So right now, cross-border commerce has become a bit easy. I can do online payments. When you look at Nigeria, the big companies like Paga that have made cross-border commerce very easy. There's Flutterwave that's made, you can pay for anything anywhere if you're whatever place you're based in Africa. So look for those partners, because those partners help build your business. How can I make sure I'm in Nairobi, I'm building up business, but how do I make sure my business is viable for the rest of Africa? Who becomes, as Renata says, who becomes my partner? Are there logistics people I need to speak to? Are there payments people I need to speak to? Are there packaging and warehousing people I need to speak to? So those relationships matter a lot. Honestly, as an entrepreneur, it's very tasking, because for me, I'm an introvert, I don't want to put myself out there and speak to people and all these things. But it's vital for your business. It makes and breaks your business. So just, if you see a logistics partner or in whatever industry you need to speak to, the first thing you need to analyze is, who are my stakeholders? Who really matters for my business to work? So do I need, another thing entrepreneurs make a mistake of, and I made this mistake when I was starting Mau, is thinking you can do everything. So you want to do your own payments, you want to do your own logistics, you want to do your own, but it becomes very expensive and time consuming, and your business might die out trying to get that money or trying to do this. So look for partners that make sense for you. So who should you partner with to make your business?
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Going back to you, Renata, can you hear me? Hi, Renata, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to ask you, could you share some platform and programs a young African entrepreneur can judiciously use for their career and business development? Anyone you know about, platforms, programs, a young African entrepreneur who wants to get better at what they do, or even as a professional? Could you share some with us?
Sure. Well, I think for entrepreneurs, I would definitely recommend looking at like acceleration programs, incubation programs. I think they are quite helpful. So yeah, definitely Growth Africa, I think, is one of the more like how do I say, more experienced organizations in the space, have been working in many countries in Africa. The headquarters is here in Kenya, and they are actually in the forefront of acceleration programs. And yeah, I think overall, looking at like local, in your local entrepreneurship hubs, I often think that co-working spaces, like places that you can meet other people and interact, is very productive, either for entrepreneurs or professionals wanting to support entrepreneurs. It's I really feel that is a way to physical space to meet other people, exchange ideas and get inspiration. So I think that would be my two recommendations. Look at acceleration programs and look at local co-working spaces to
Thank
join.
you very much. Thank you very much. Back to you, Jenny. You were saying, thank you very much, Renata. You were saying that you made an important point that entrepreneurs should not work alone. And I also know that the last we spoke from Mau Africa, you work with a partner. So my question is, how do you find somebody to build with? Because it's not as easy as saying don't work alone. And it's a concern. We have many solo entrepreneurs in Africa, and that's why we tend to build very small things, because we build like singly. And I personally believe that the more we share networks and, you have like founders and co-founders, we can build more. So I wanted to know from you, how do you select a partner to work with? Hi, Jenny, can you hear me? You lose hi again.
Yes, I can. I'm sorry, I can hear you, yeah. But to your point of looking for a partner to work with, so I've not experienced this, but I know that getting a co-founder is one of the hardest things that's there. I have had friends who are also founders, and their co-founder either stole all the money or put them out of the business or did something. So for me, I've been lucky because my co-founder is like a childhood friend. We grew up together, so we've known each other our whole lives. So it was easy to start a business with her, and we've done a few projects together. But I always get this because in my network of entrepreneurs, they're always like, oh, could you refer a good co-founder? Could you do this, that? So yeah, I won't lie. And entrepreneurship is not rosy. It's not as beautiful as people think it is. It's hard to get a nice co-founder. But the thing is, you'll always find a good person. Just if it's within your networks, within who you grew up with, you can look there. But the other thing, you have to be very transparent with each other. Like for me and my co-founder are very transparent. So we do everything together. We speak every single day. We have, in the end of the day, we have like a meeting where we speak about what happened well in the business, what didn't happen well in the business, how did I apply myself, how did you apply yourself, how can we do better? So you need to find someone you can have very transparent and hard conversations, because some of these conversations are very hard, especially money conversations are very hard, but you need to find someone you can be very honest with. Because I don't know how it is in other African countries, but in Kenya, we don't like to talk about money. You hide about money. It's like something you don't talk about. But your co-founder is basically if you're married, it's like your other wife or your other husband. So you have to be as transparent as possible, because if you're not, the business suffers. Because the business is as a result of the two of you or the three of you, how many co-founders you decide to have. But the one thing I will advise is be very honest, be very transparent, and then look for people you can trust and people who are aligned to your mission and vision. You guys have the same values, because if you don't, again, you clash heads a lot and it doesn't work. So it's hard, I won't lie, but it's possible to do it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jenny. I'm coming back to you, Renata. Can you hear me too?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you've built an international career in some sense, like working outside your own country and all that. And I wanted to ask you, what are the three major challenges that you have faced building an international career, having to leave your comfort zone, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think a big step to start an international career is studying abroad. I think I did my master's degree abroad, and I think this was actually a good point. And I think this, of course, it's not possible for everyone, but I think nowadays there are like online opportunities too. So I think like trying to build a network, international network, it's important. So, for example, if you cannot study abroad, but maybe try to find an opportunity to work abroad, like a fellowship even, or because this, you know, you have to start building your international network. That's key. And yeah, I think that would be my main advice, like build your international network as much as you can. I know that most of countries in Africa, people speak many more than 2 languages, and so be prepared to, you know, to learn new languages, to progress in that way. I think it's very important to invest in that way. Yeah, and I think be ready to get completely out of your comfort zone. I think go places that you never imagined, like go to the hardest place, you know. I think, to be honest, when I moved to Ethiopia and I lived there for 3 years, for me was the most life-changing experience because it was completely different from everything that I've seen before. And I learned so much, I developed so much as a professional, as a person. And I think, yeah, it just then started like a route that I could never go back. Yeah, exactly, Bethel. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, if I could add something, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I would just like to kind of build up on what you said, Renata, because of course, I receive a lot of people that want to study abroad, that want to change their realities, and there is no way that we can do this for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think one thing is there are people that are more prepared than others. There are people that want more than others. And if that's something that you really want, you need to really want. I think, I mean, I am also from an emerging country. I'm a woman, something like it. I think I had to want more in order to be like working now in Spain, working now in another language. I had to speak more languages than average, and it's possible. But as you said, you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable for the rest of your life. Right now, I cannot speak my own language anymore, and I will probably never be able to work in my own language in my life, my professional life. So I just feel that it's a little bit of like, of course, getting to know the opportunities, being prepared for when they pass by, and chasing those opportunities. Jennifer just shared a little bit of some programs you can apply to. And I just wanted to say that I couldn't agree more on trying to be this person that wants a lot, and people will help you along the way.
Thank you very much for that addition, Luisa, because it makes so much sense. Because, you know, some of these opportunities, for example, the study opportunities, they have like requirements, and you have people who say, I want to do this, I want to do that. They don't even know like what exams you need to write. You have to have a long-term plan. You need to know the kind of exams you need to write. You need to prepare. If it's business, you don't have your business structure altogether. Like most of these accelerators, opportunities, they want a business that's at least put together a little bit. So you need to be sure what you want and start working towards it. And I think that's like a very important point that you made. You like you saying you can't speak Brazilian language anymore. That's quite interesting. You lost it.
I mean, I can we say Brazilian Portuguese. I can speak, but within my work, I'm not responsible for Europe. And at IESE, I don't have like any Portuguese or Brazilian co-workers, so any Portuguese speaker that I can speak to. So all my performance and all the challenges that I need to tackle, I need to do them either in Spanish or in English. So I need to be better than a native speaker, for example, in some senses, and that's the truth.
Wow, very interesting. You have to know what you want and really want it. Luisa, since you're here, before we go back again, I wanted to know if you'd like to throw more light for specific scholarship opportunities that an African applying to IESE can probably take advantage of. Then we go back to
Sure.
This was supposed to come later, but since you're here,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, as I said, we are looking to increase the number of African participants in our program. So we know that for that we need to have more scholarship opportunities. So we now have a higher budget for scholarships. The problem at the moment is that the requirements that we have as a business school are not the easiest ones. And I understand how hard this can be, in the sense that it's not that one day you decide that you're going to study abroad and then the next day you have all the requirements. So it is, as you said, is a long-term plan. And the reason why I'm here today is because someone might be thinking about doing this in 2 years, and in 2 years it's possible to get all the requirements. Or maybe you're already ready for it and we can help you go through the process in a different way. As I said, one of the main problems that we have is regarding the GMAT, or the IESE test, as we call that. It's a test that it's like a logic test, critical thinking test, that it's really hard and needs preparation for it. But if you have the requirements, if you like speak good English, if you have an interesting profile, if you're a leader that wants to make a mark, don't feel that you shouldn't apply because this is not your place. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this only for IESE. I'm saying this for all the business schools. Of course, I think IESE is better, but I think it is an opportunity that is out there. We need more people from Africa. We're looking for them, and we are willing to help you throughout the process to figure out the requirements. So you start thinking and planning because as I said, the biggest programs, they are for people that are younger. When I say younger, is that you have from 0 years after you graduate until like 5 to 8 years after you graduate. Those are the programs, at least at IESE, that we have bigger scholarships for. So it's better if you start thinking as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. I think we'll go back to our panel briefly as we continue. Can you all hear me? So Jenny, back to you. You built a business out of art. And many times when business people think about art, they think more of it as especially things that they enjoy, right? They think more of it as a hobby in some sense, right? It's something you really love. How do you build a business out of something that's, in quotes, is just a hobby? I don't know if that question is really clear, because, you know, passion, and now you want to turn it into a business. Are there like specific, are there things that you need to start thinking, start doing for moving your business from a level? Because many entrepreneurs, especially in Africa, starts out, oh, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy making hair. I enjoy this. What are the structures you need to put to transition from I enjoy to I need to make money? Because businesses need to make money. You need your bottom line. You need your top line. So what are the structures you need for that transition? If you heard me right.
That's a very interesting question. I think you look at it because if I was asked, I would want to be the writer or the producer or the this and that in the business. But you start looking at what's the whole value chain of art. So just the creation of art is just one part of art. But there's the creation, there's the production, there's the consumption, dissemination, there's a whole lot that happens in the value chain. So you start asking yourself, how do artisans or how do art people sell their crafts? Where do they sell it? How do they ship it? How do customers pay for it? So for me, I have a tech background. I worked in fintech for the longest time, and the business I used to work in recently was payments. So I worked in a company called Cellulant where they process cross-border payments. And then you start asking yourself, how do artists, if I make an art in Uganda, how do I sell it in Nigeria? Or if I make something in Ghana, how do I sell it in Nigeria? How do I ship it from Ghana to Nigeria? How does the customer like pay me? All those things. So you start thinking of the business as more of, it's not the creation of the art, which is the hobby, but how do you enable the art? How do you come in as someone who enables the art? How do artisans or artist people package their items? So when you look at that, or how do they connect with raw material providers, what we do? How do they access credit? Because we also extend credit to artisans. How do they access credit to buy raw materials to produce? So when you look at it that way, there's a lot of opportunity. If you look at it as the producer, I like to think myself as creative, but I don't think I'm as creative as most African artists. But I can be very good at making sure they deliver on time. I can be very good at making sure they get money to buy raw materials to produce. So you have to look at an industry as a whole value chain. So from production to dissemination to consumption. So from raw material providers, how do artisans buy? So when you look at it that way, there's a whole lot of opportunity. And it's the same for every industry. I love to hear what other entrepreneurs in this group are looking to pursue. But when you look at it as a whole industry, not as just one part of the industry, you find the gaps and then you find where to insert yourself in the gap.
Thank you.
So a good example is, let me just give this example. IESE is running a program for schools, but you have to ask yourself, how do students access credit to pay to go to school? How do they pay for logistics and accommodation? How do they do this? So when you start looking at the whole value chain, opportunities come up. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's very interesting that you are raising the issue of looking at the whole value chain, because sometimes from observation, what I find is people only know about what they see. So in music, people only know about the artists that are celebrities, and they don't know there's a whole business to the music. There's a whole, you know, a whole chain that they can explore.
Yes.
So I think it's very interesting that, you know, when you look at value chains in holistically, you see business opportunities that are not really open to everybody. Thank you for
And
that.
just to
Okay.
let me just add this very quickly to my one point of mastering the problem. So mastering the problem means learning the whole value chain. So if it's the music business in this example, is who is the producer, where do they buy the instruments, what classes do they need to pay to do this, what software do they need to edit the beats and do all this. So it's mastering the whole problem, the whole value chain. Otherwise, you can't solve a problem by not understanding it. You have to understand the same way a doctor, before a doctor treats you, they have to diagnose, like, oh, where did you go to, what did you eat, what did you do? They have to understand the whole problem. So the same way as a business, master the whole value chain. If you're offering payments, understand if your consumer is someone in the market, understand how do they make their money? How does this money transfer to this to the point where they transfer the money? So if you don't understand the value chain, you can't solve a problem. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. I think it's quite interesting. Back to Renata before we start to take questions from the chat. Renata, I think that your work at TechnoServe, I find it very interesting working with agribusiness. And I think that agriculture is one sector that we have not fully explored in Africa, because at length, most of the agriculture that we do, regardless of the fact that we have resources, is that they are very subsistent in nature. So you have small scale, I personally think we do a lot of small scale things. And you know, how do you think someone who wants to play in agriculture can go from just the subsistent level to something larger, to serve a larger market? I don't know if that question is clear.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think so. I'm not like an expert in agriculture, and I look at it as a business, right?
Yeah,
like
you can look at it as a business.
I think it's the same as, and you know, the advice I would give in general. I think, I think you have to, you know, like if you want to grow, you have to think from the beginning about how you scale your business model. Right, like, and you have to be intentional. It has to be part of your strategy, and then it's growing. It's often, you know, like it's the hardest parts, like supporting entrepreneurs in different ways, like from when you are shifting from like your small business to another level, going like expanding geographies. This often is like, it's very difficult, it's very challenging. You need to look for funding, you need to grow your team. All of these things are quite challenging. So I think I would, my how do I say, my learning so far has been that, like, be intentional about growth. You know, be strategic on how you are growing, how you are expanding, taking opportunities, and be careful as well, right? Like be careful on how you make these leaps, these jumps into rounds. I think I think would be the main point. And for agriculture, of course, depends a lot on the context. I think some countries have a more conducive environment for starting agricultural businesses. But yeah, I think it depends a lot. So I think would depend a lot on each country or in each industries. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think I will just extend the question to Jenny, and we see if we have questions, then we'll round up. Jenny, I want to rephrase the question I asked Renata, because I also think one other common notion right now is that there's a lot of cosmetics applied on entrepreneurship as a concept. Like, entrepreneurship is now fancy, but the reality is it is not fancy. You mentioned it, that there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. So what are the things that you do on days that you feel like this is the end? Like, how do you try to keep sane? How do you, because it's one thing to have a vision, a passion, you want to do this, you want to do that. On some days, it's like, you know what, I'm done, like this. So what are the things you do as an entrepreneur to manage those phases so that you can continue for tomorrow?
That's a very funny question because I'm currently going through that. So it's the holiday season, and this is like our most busy time ever. We get so many orders during this period of time. And I was in Mozambique and then came to Zambia for work, and then I was going to leave to Nairobi on Wednesday, but I was like, it's Zambia. It's one of the most beautiful countries on the continent. So why not go to Victoria Falls? Why not do this? So as an entrepreneur, allow yourself sometimes to just have some fun and move yourself away from the problem. So one of the biggest things me and my co-founder do, we are very big on doing things outside of work that empower us. So we go to therapy together. So we go to therapy together, we go to the gym together, we do several things together, just that are not for the business, but they make you as an entrepreneur function well. So if you love to golf, if you love to read books, if you love to go to the cinema, if you love to do this, do it. Because otherwise, running a business, I have lost a few hairs. So you will lose a few hairs, you will do, something will always happen. But you need to remind yourself you're still a human being. The maximum you can live is 80, 90 years. So don't take away from the fun. So when you do have the time, do those things. And the one thing I would really recommend that has really worked for me has been two things. Exercise, just work out. Even though it's 30 or 20 minutes a day, work out, it really helps with the hormones in your body. And then go to therapy. Those two things really, really ground you. But just there's something I wanted to mention earlier when you're asking about the agriculture question. I previously worked at Cellulant, and we had a marketplace platform called Agrico. So Agrico was connecting farmers to the corporate community buyers and everyone. So again, to my thing of the whole value chain. So how do you understand the whole value chain? Because in Nigeria, the issue was farmers make a lot of produce, but it doesn't get to, we used to call it farm and fork, from farm to fork. So from the farm to the fork. So how do you make sure that someone gets something from the farmer to their table and they can eat it? So understand the whole value chain. And the biggest issue in Nigeria was farmers didn't have a way to move things from their farms to businesses that buy in the wholesale. Whether they are hotels, whether they are all these people that buy, or supermarkets, they didn't have a way. But Agrico came into the market and changed that. But again, to my fun part of being an entrepreneur, just work out, go to therapy, eat well, take care of yourself, because it's very hard. You will cry, you'll have nights where you cry and you are like, I've had so many nights where I'm like, why did I quit my job? Why am I doing this? This will always happen. And when they happen, don't feel guilty. It's normal. That will always happen. It's very hard. It's not an easy journey. So work out, exercise. And the only other thing I'll add, have a network of people you can speak to. So have other entrepreneurs you can speak to. I'll just share this story because it's very funny. And this has happened to me. One of our employees lied that their uncle died or something, and they took a few days off, and then they came back to work. And then I spoke to one of my friends who's also runs a business, and they're telling me one of the employees lied their son died. They even gave money, the company gave money for the funeral and all these things, only to find out he didn't have a son. So have a network you can speak to. And as an entrepreneur, when that happens, because sometimes what happens in our business, sometimes you don't even pay yourself. You want to pay your employees because you're like, they matter more. So have someone you can always share those stories. And it's always nice to have an entrepreneur friend where you can share stories, laugh about it. Yeah, so it's good to just have someone you can speak to. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think this has been a very insightful session. I've learned so much myself. I'm trying to find questions from the chat. I don't know if someone from One Foundation can help me, because I'm finding if there are any, or we just have them the last words and, pass it. Am I missing any question in the chat? Do we have any question?
No, I don't think you've missed any question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we would take the last words from the panelists. But before that, I also wanted to add, because I was thinking about three things I'm talking about positioning for global opportunities, I had to ask myself what are 3 things I would advise anyone who asks me such question. And the first one is you need to have a long-term plan for preparations. It's not something that just happens, and it's really hard. I mean, you will try so many and they're going to fail. That's the truth. You need to have search this school. What do they require? They require GRE, they require this, write it. Sometimes you apply and it doesn't work, but you need to keep at it because that's the only option that you have. Else you just remain where you are. The second one is that I wrote was get busy. Sometimes, you know, the very simple position that you can take is do nothing, because what you really want has not come, but that's the way to nowhere. You need to get busy. If what you want to do is like your business, you need to get busy with putting your business in order so that the opportunity that you're looking for when it comes, you can be acceptable for it. If it's academics, maybe get busy writing papers. Volunteering is a very good way to get busy. To anybody that knows me knows I'm an advocate of volunteering. I started volunteering in one foundation, and I think there's something volunteering does to you. You grow faster. So get busy. It's a way and the funniest thing is you say the word global opportunities. It's actually not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched, really. That thing that you're doing, you'll be shocked to see that it's very good on a global scale. You just don't have the light yet. And the last one is try. Anyone who has been applying for either business or professional opportunities knows what rejection is. You're going to have many rejections. But the truth is, Jenny mentioned Chimamanda Adichie. I also really like her, and I know one of the things she likes to say is, you know, sometimes you just have to try. I remember when I clicked send for my IESE application, it was just, okay, I've done my best, but whatever comes out, try. You really don't know what can come out of it. You're better off trying than not trying. So with that, I'll just go quickly to my panelists so that I can have the last words. Then we hand it over back to One Foundation. Hi, Louisa. Any last words for us? We are wrapping up this amazing session. Renata, thank you for your time. I think you've shared rich insights. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Louisa. So we just take the last words.
Yes, sure. I would like to build a little bit of what Jennifer said, that there is only 2 things that are my perceptions. There are only 2 things that are truly yours. The first one is your dreams, and the second one is your body. So kind of like take care of both of them. The first one being like, you need to, like you said, also favor, believe in your dreams, go chase them, try. And the second one about your body is like mental and physical health is something that a lot of times it's we don't take care of them that much. That's the only thing that is truly ours at the moment. And we need to take care. We need to exercise. We need to like talk to people. What I see at my position right now is that the business leaders that I talk, they're truly different from others, are the ones that already understood that nobody's taking care of them. They need to take care of themselves. And I think this is as a last message, I would like to say that it's like, no one is gonna chase your dreams for you. You need to do it, and nobody's gonna take care of you. You need to do it. So that's it. And thank you again for Renata and Jen for accepting our invite, but more than that, to being open to give back in somehow and being here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Renata, can you give us last words, things that you think you want to leave with us here today as insights?
Sure. Yeah. Well, again, thank you for inviting me to be able to share. And I see a big group here. It's very rewarding. Yeah, I think for me, it's just be truthful with your purpose. You know, I think often we kind of get a bit lost sometimes in like, and then we sometimes like, why am I doing this? And then try to be mindful. And if you find yourself in this situation, you are ready to change and pivot and you know, try and like start shaping your path. I think our path is not linear. no matter how much we plan and we, put, like it takes us in different forms, and we learn so much, it develops so much. So enjoy this process too. I think that would be my last words.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. I think you mentioned something important. Enjoy the process, because sometimes the process is more, I don't know, more relaxing or more, I don't know, in some sense, fulfilling than the place itself. So enjoy your journey to where you're going. Very important. And our processes are not linear. It's okay to fall and come back. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Let's take from Jenny. Jenny, last words for us today.
Yeah, so I wrote them down actually. I sent them to the chats, but it's those 4 things. Master the problem. So if you're in agriculture and you're solving for farmers, and there are 7 million farmers, pick to 7,000 farmers. Master the problem, like learn the problem completely. Just the customer, always call the customer, find out what they're doing. Manage by numbers, look at your numbers daily. Who ordered, who didn't order, what happened, what didn't happen. But most importantly, have fun. It's never that serious. I think we like to look at it's very serious. Again, I go to this point of you can only live for 80, 70 years. It's never that serious. Just have fun. It's stressful, yes, but get into the fun, have fun. And if you're not started, start now. I'll add 5, start now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The best time to plant a tree was so many years ago. The next best time is now. So if you're on this call and you have not started, we are cheering you on. Please start your journey because the world is waiting for you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed these conversations. I've written down a couple of things, and I think it's been a valuable moment. Thank you, One Foundation, for having us. I'm going to be turning it back to the president of One Foundation.
Hi. Thank you so much, Luisa, Renata, and Jenny. This has been really, really valuable. I think one of the things that's really stuck with me was what Jenny was saying when she said that you should stay away from the problem. I think for entrepreneurs, there's this problem affinity that every entrepreneur have, because of course that's the way you are wired. You're wired to go around seeking for problems to solve. But understanding when to sometimes, stay away from the source of the problem so that you can take care of yourself, like Luisa was saying, is also really, really, really important. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been really, really good. For our attendees, the feedback form for this program has been shared in your in the chat, yes, in the chat, and we would like to hear your feedback. It's just about a 1 to 2 minutes thing for you to fill. Thank you so much. This has been so valuable. I think the last thing that we also wanted to say is that for us at One Foundation, this is our last program for the year, and one of the things that we also wanted to spend the time to talk about, spend this last meeting of the year to do, was to sort of honor some of the people who have been really valuable to us this year, but who we have sadly lost. We wanted to just have I don't know, these are really amazing people to us, and we lost both of them this year, and we just wanted to have this 1 minute silent honor for them in this particular event. Dr. Nagmani Magawu was our board member. She passed on the 16th of September this year, and also Ms. Rashima Dixon was one of our very valuable partner contributor. We've done a number of programs with her, and we also lost her on the 20th of May this year. And we just wanted to, observe a minute in silence to honor their memory. We hope that their souls rest in peace. Thank you. We had to do that because these are really wonderful people to us, and it was such a I don't know, such a pain to have lost them this year. And people who have gone through, losing people who understand what we mean by that. We just wanted to, share with our community how valuable these people are to us. So to every other person, this is where we're going to be wrapping up this program today, and honestly, technically for the year. And we're going to be resuming more of our programs next year. For people who are probably never attended our programs before, these are the kind of things that we do. So we run programs like this for entrepreneurs. We run programs for students who are trying to build their careers. We do different partnership programs. We have short courses that we run for micro, medium, and small scale entrepreneurs. We have specific programs. A number of programs that we've run this year come down to capital. We have the basic entrepreneurial program and a lot more. The wonderful thing is that now that you are in our network by having registered for one of our programs, you will definitely get more information about the things that we do with time. And also for people who, I'm sure that there are people who would definitely love to be a part, sort of maybe listen to this all over again. I personally think that this session was so valuable. I really felt it was valuable, and it was just really wonderful to see entrepreneurs and professionals sharing from their arts, things that I really think that were so wonderful. So this program was going live on Facebook, and I'm going to be dropping the chat in the box. Yeah, that's the link for you to be able to rewatch it at your own convenience. You can copy the link somewhere, and you can also follow us. Please follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn. Our name everywhere is Oak Nation Entrepreneurial Foundation. For social media that use handles, we usually, that's like Instagram and link and Twitter, we usually use at Oak Nation EF. But for every other social media platform, we use the Oak Nation Entrepreneurial Foundation. We wish you, I think we can start wishing you a Merry Christmas, since this is our last program for the year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We hope that you have a wonderful time. And from my own end, I will, I think I just saw a chat. Oh yes, thank you so much, Favor, for sending a reminder about that. If you have specific questions concerning MIM or MBA, I'm sure that you were here when Luisa was sort of differentiating between the two. MIM is for people who are probably just, you are just out of school, you've really not built so much experience. MIM is for you. Usually, I think they said those are people that usually maybe below 25 and all of that. And then the MBA is for people who have built a bit of experience. I hope I'm saying this right, Luisa.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, and MBA is for people who have built a bit of experience, and usually people who are a little bit above 25. And so if you have specific question, you can please email Luisa. I think she already dropped her email in the chat when she was speaking. Yeah, I think she thank you so much, the program manager. Our program manager just dropped the email again. Trust me, this is such a wonderful opportunity to be able to reach out directly to ask specific questions. This is like we said, this is our time of ensuring that we leverage on there's this growing global thing where you don't have to limit yourself to where you came from. You don't have to limit yourself to your own your own community, your own country. There's this cross-cultural thing that is now so possible. And I'm so excited to hear about what IESE Business School is doing and how, they are growing their desire to, have more Africans, which is the reason why they've earmarked more scholarships for the African professionals and people generally. That is so super exciting. Thank you so much, everyone. And I think you can have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you so much, Luisa. Thank you so much, Renata. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Have an amazing Friday.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.